I'm starting out by using a mixture of permanent rose, brown madder, and Windsor blue. I'm trying to be very precise in my painting. Here I'm adding a little more Windsor blue to darken that area a bit. It will flow into the other paint as everything is still very wet. I move toward the right, and as I go I add more water to make it lighter in color. In front of the back building is another portion of the main fishing shack. Notice how I left a white area to define that it is a building in front of the other. Again, I'm painting very carefully. I added a little orange to vary the color a bit, and as I go further on, I will change the color again. This time it's a little grayish in color. I'm adding some green that is on the outside of the building. It's also under the building where you can see it poking through the pier. I add a variety by mixing in some orange. I drop in a darker value in a couple of areas. If I don't like the color or it's too dark or whatever reason, I wash it away with clear water. There's a dock to the right of the building, and I'm painting it negatively by painting around it and leaving certain areas white. This is very detailed through here. I try to change color as often as I can. That orange looks a little bit, reddish orange looks a little bit too dark. I lighten it a little bit by adding some green and dropping the green into some other areas. I'm adding some gray to the left side of the building. It's in slats, so I paint in a downward position, leaving a little white in between the area. Notice again how juicy I paint. Also notice the value. It's a very light gray. I could have painted over the barn door at this particular point, but I decided against it for some reason. I changed the value by adding a little orange. The orange blends into the gray around it. Added some more orange to give a little darker value there. Continue adding the gray barn slats. Here I changed the color a little bit, adding some yellow and a yellow orange. Added water to the green area and letting some of the other colors mix in. Kind of a earthy color green toward the right, adding some fir trees above, letting the colors merge. This area is not as important as the building, so I'm not that careful with the way I'm painting it. Although I am doing it negatively and leaving the white areas where the piers will be. Even in little areas like this, I do change the colors. I decided to paint the barn door in, although I could have left it white just as easily. The same for the window. I put in the back horizon hills. I'm mixing up a very dark value using brown matter and Winsor blue. I'm painting in the doorway, painting very juicy and very precise. It looks fast here, but remember the video has been speeded up. When I get the doorway painted in, I'm going to drop in a little cerulean blue. I just kind of hold the brush there and let it flow into the very juicy wet paint. I paint the window in the same manner. I'm working a little bit inside the boat to define some of the areas. I'm defining the bottom of the boat using a light gray. I rinse the brush with water and lightly soften the edges. I'm working underneath the building where it is on stilts. It's a very dark area. I paint negatively to define a ladder in this particular location. Again, I'm painting very slowly and precisely and do a lot of negative. I I continue painting negatively. Watch how the ladder starts to really stand out. I'm defining the top of the boat some and the right hand side of the pier. Doing some negative painting to bring out the pier on the right side of the painting.